Men, one of the most underrated tools that you need to have is the ability to communicate. Countless guys have lost out with women, have messed up the game, screwed themselves over because they were not able to effectively communicate. They were tall, they were fit, they had money, they had just about everything but the ability to communicate. And that was what really ruined the game and caused them not to be able to get a woman. I've seen it happen. Trust me, I've seen it. Cool guys, smooth, riding around, nice car, pull up, money, dress nice, baller. But soon as he opened his mouth, the game was shot to pieces. Because the reality is, right, even though women are looking for, of course, a man that's tall, fit, attractive, they are also looking for a man that has the ability to communicate and get them to, you got to get them. You got to know how to say things, what to say, when to say it. And some guys just mess this up. So guys, you got to understand how to communicate. And I'll tell you a little bit of some communication strategies that I use. Simple, but it allows me to really get what I want to get. I'm just telling you, it works. So the game, when it comes to, we used to say this when we was younger, spitting game, right? That's what my brothers used to say. That's what we used to always say, like, spit game, man. I'm about to go spit game to her. As an adult, I don't really call it spitting game, but I more so call it being able to talk to a woman and get her to open up about herself, right? Women love men that are able to communicate without the want or the feel like, man, he's just trying to get something. All he's trying to do is get something. So I've had it where women, soon as I came on the scene, it was like, I know what he on. He probably a hoe. They always think it's something, you know what I'm saying? And that's sometimes what guys that are decent looking out say, right? With experience. They experience women thinking that, oh man, all they want is something. So you got to understand how to talk to her. Be a listener. Ask her about herself. What you do in life? What is a passion of yours? Different thing. You can just ask questions and just start talking to her. But don't seem thirsty now, but just talk. What you up to? Like, what you do in life? And then on my other videos, I talked about the importance of having things in life that you are doing, because then when you start opening up about things that you're doing, and if you have passions in life, if you actually have a purpose in life, you always got something to talk about. And on my other videos, I also talked about reading. It's important to read, because when you read, you have knowledge. Knowledge comes from reading. So when you're reading, you can bring that to the table when you're having conversations. What's going on? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Man, I'm just thinking about this political world is crazy, right? Are you into politics? Okay, that's a conversation if she's into politics. Let's say you both not into politics. Okay. What's your thoughts on the dating world today? Like, the modern world is different, right? Okay, so what you think is different from now than when our parents were older? You know, when our parents were younger. You see the conversation that got started that quick. And then she starts telling you stuff. Okay, so what's some things in life you're passionate about? Okay, let's say she says, I like sports. Bam. Most of the time the guys like the sports anyway, so okay, you like sports, what's your team? Oh, them boys ain't. You like the Cowboys? Man, them boys ain't doing, and that's a conversation starter. And you can get into just talking about sports, and that'll keep things going. You can talk about, I don't know if she had the career that she works in. I do this a lot. When we start talking about careers, soon as she get into something, okay, she said, well, I work in education. Really? You a teacher? Yeah, I'm a teacher. Oh, okay, tell me about that. Like, you like being a teacher? Like, what made you want to get into that? Okay, you always want to do that? Where you want to be 5 years from now? That's a good one too. All right, okay. And then you ask hypotheticals, right? I love to ask hypotheticals because it starts a passionate conversation. Questions like, okay, like, so if you had, and this is simple, this ain't even nothing that deep, but just something like, if you had $1 million, what would you do with it? Okay, all right. Any brothers and sisters? What was it like for you growing up? All right. Do you feel like a man should take care of a woman completely? Okay. How do you feel about men that are emotionally unavailable? What are your thoughts? Have you ever been part of in a friends with benefits situation? Okay. Did you like it? What made you get into it? Okay. Have you ever been a part of swinger lifestyle before? Is that something? Like, I'm just throwing stuff. Not necessarily I'm gonna ask these questions. It depends on the vibe and the woman, what type of, I can kind of pick up where to go with the conversation. Because you can tell kind of where a woman is at and where you need to go. I'm just throwing stuff out there. But all I'm saying is you have to have the ability to communicate. And your conversation can't always be about something sexual. You got to gauge. And this is why having mental and emotional awareness is important, because you'll see what to ask, what not to ask, looking at how she handles herself, understanding the type of woman that she is too, because you can walk into a date, and if you got a woman you can tell that is more into the church, then you have to, it's a different ball game you're dealing with there, right? You're dealing with a different woman. You got to understand that. If you're dealing with a woman that's been in the military, had a military father, it's a lot of different things you have to see visually, you have to be aware of already. Before you even open your mouth and start going into any conversation, you have to see what type of woman this is, understand who she is, and how to talk to her. You got to understand that, because I can right now tell you exactly what to ask, and it don't work because you didn't vet out and understand what type of woman this is. So for example, let's say if you met her on Tinder, you can kind of catch a vibe from, what type of woman she is based on her bio. All these things you got to pay attention to. You could have her pictures. Where was she at? She likes to travel. Okay, what place have you been? You got to know how to do it. So some of this stuff you can't be taught. And that's something that I'm definitely coaching people on. Some of this stuff you can't be taught. You have to have the awareness. So I can't teach you exactly what to do, but I can teach you how to be aware. Now I can teach that. I can teach the awareness part, but I can't necessarily teach you step by step, because you don't even know how the conversation is going to flow. You don't know how the conversation is going to flow, and all of those things dictate which route you're going to take with a woman. But I will tell you this, my knowledge, my understanding, my ability to communicate, comes from just reading, building up my mental capacity. That has taken me far. And I'm telling you, men, it will take you far if you learn to study, learn to read. What to read? You can read about relationships. You can read about traumas, childhood traumas. You can read about things about yourself that you're unsure about. There's just so much literature online, so many things you can do to read to build up your mental capacity. And when your mental capacity is built up, you're going to be real tough to deal with. You're going to be able to maneuver. You're going to be able to do the things you want to do. But you got to build up your mental capacity. And I get it. Everybody, didn't go to college. I'm not even dealing with it from that standpoint. I'm dealing with it from the standpoint of you just got to read. You got to keep yourself well versed. You got to watch things that are informational, not only playing games on your Game Boy, playing the PlayStation all day, eating Cheetos, sitting on the couch, doing nothing really. You have to build up your mental capacity. Like, I make sure that I feed my mind constantly. You got to feed your mind. Then you got to feed your mind with things that are helpful, that strengthens you, that you're able to maneuver the way you want to maneuver. But that's all for today. Like and subscribe to the channel for more great content. We're going to continue putting out real good content because I really want men to develop themselves. I'm telling you, I want us to develop ourselves. I don't like to see no men on these podcasts complaining about a woman and this and that. And the women here, man, those women, I'll never, no. We're not going to speak like that, but we're going to talk from a masculine place. We're going to be alphas. You feel me? No, you might not have 6 figures. We ain't worrying about that. All we worrying about is development. If you got 20,000, we're trying to develop to 40 or to 30. From 30 to 40, to 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70. We're going to continue to develop. That's what I'm on. And I'm putting you all on the same.